All right, I have a book stack and I ordered some Christmas books that I'm really excited about. I can't wait to show you what I got. I plan to read these during November, December, but you know how sometimes plans go awry, so we'll see. We will see. But I have a couple of books to show you today. I have one living book, and yeah, I don't have a whole lot. It's been this school year, ever since August, has just been bananas. It's just been bananas. So I'm gonna do my best to get through a couple of these books, and I'm gonna show you what's upcoming. Plus I have some new tea. I'm so excited about this tea. And I felt like this was the perfect video to show you this new tea that came yesterday. So let's chat about books. And if that coloring keeps changing, friends, I am so sorry. It is the yuckiest weather out there right now because the weather's changing, which makes for really good reading weather, but not for really good filming weather, if you understand what I mean here. It's just yucky. Everything keeps changing on me, so I have to keep adjusting my camera to for the clouds here. So let me tell you about my tea first. I got this. I am not sponsored. They did not send this to me. I bought this. I don't know if you can see it very well. Probably not. Okay, but it is from the company The Republic of Tea. This one is peppermint chocolate, and I thought this would be so good for the Christmas season. So I had a cup yesterday, and I have one right here. So I did half black tea in my steeper, and I did one package of that, and it actually tastes like my old coffee in a way, and it gives me caffeine, so I'm happy. So one of the things that I was really sad about giving up was coffee, because I like coffee creamer. So now I feel fulfilled. I do, and it's great to drink while I read books. This first book was sent to me by Bethany House. I'm a Bethany House book reviewer, which is like one of my favorite things in the whole world. And they sent me a book called The Royal Artisan by Tessa Ashafar. And I hope I said her name right. If I didn't, I sincerely apologize. I have not read any books by her before. This was the first book that I read by her, and I did not realize that this was a series book. I probably should have paid more attention to that, but the cover was so pretty. I couldn't help myself. I clicked the button, and here I am. I'm so glad I did, though, because I have seen her books all over the place, and I have never read any of her books. And it seems like she writes a lot of biblical fiction, but she writes in characters, and it seems like the book characters are not the main biblical characters. The biblical characters are either side characters or kind of in the background, so you know what time period we're talking about. So this one is the second book in a series about Queen Esther, and if you're familiar with that story, then that's going to really help you. If you're not, I would suggest going and brushing up on that time period in your Bible. But if you're not familiar with it, you're going to get a whole lesson about that book of the Bible. So this one is really neat. So in this book, our main character is a potter. And she goes through so many different challenges. Like, I kind of felt sorry for her about halfway through this book. It was a little much. But you see this like found family that she has kind of coming together and helping her, and these friends, and she ends up befriending the queen, which was just so neat, kind of seeing Queen Esther get like this personality behind her, where we don't really see a whole lot of that in Esther in the Bible. So I really enjoyed that, and I feel like it stayed true to the biblical narrative without going off on some weird like side thing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like biblical fiction can be done right, or it can be done really wrong, and I feel like Tessa does it right. I enjoyed that book so much, and there was this romance going on in it with our main character. I learned a lot about pottery, which was really cool, and I enjoyed it so very much that I decided to purchase the first book in the series. Now, these books I feel like can be read standalone because they're about different characters. So this book, which is called The Queen's Cook, is not about the same character as the second book, The Royal Artisan. So this book follows a different girl who is a cook in the Queen's kitchen. I am halfway through this, okay? I'm not all the way through this. I really tried to finish this by the end of the month, but so many things just kept happening. Like right now, I tried to, like yesterday was supposed to be my reading day, guys. It was supposed to be my reading day, but it's not because my refrigerator decided to go out, and the refrigerator is pulled out into the middle of my kitchen, and we had to do, I need a break, guys. I need a vacation. So, so I did not get to finish this book like I wanted to. I'm hoping I can read some more of it today. But yeah, I'm going to be finishing that hopefully for November. So all in all, 5-star read. But if you know a lot about the book of Esther, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but there is some violence in there. It's not glorified. You might want to save that for older teen girls. I'm just saying, read it. Honestly, just read it yourself. It is such a good book, and it keeps you like really interested. It keeps you really pulled in, and then be the judge of it. But I would say that is actual like younger adult, like adult, not what the book industry calls young adult, but like young adult and up. I would not give that to probably like a 12-year-old. So just keep that in mind. The other book that I read this month was Luther in Love by Douglas Bond. Being Reformation Month and being a Reformed Baptist, it was my duty to read a book about Luther. So our church ladies were all reading this book, so I went ahead and joined in too. This book is a historical fiction book that is based off a lot of Luther's writings, and it was a really, really well done historical fiction book. I learned a lot about Luther, and I learned a lot about his wife. So this book is actually being written by his wife, and it's kind of like a memoir of his life, and we learn a lot about his family and his kids and his marriage. I learned a lot of things about how A Mighty Fortress Is Our God came about, which was just so much sadder than I realized, but also just seeing the faith behind these two parents was amazing. So highly recommend that book, especially for my Reformed Baptist people and Presbyterians and Lutherans. You guys are going to like this book. It was really good. I enjoyed it, and yeah, it was a great one for Reformation Month. So I gave that one 5 stars. The other book that I want to show you is Hittite Warrior, and I am like 90% of the way through. We're going to finish this book this week. A lot of people warned me about this book. A lot of people do not like this book. I understand why. The main pagan god that this book is about is Molech. I understand the reluctance of this book, and I would not give this to younger readers. If your kids are mature enough to understand the concepts in here about pagan gods, then yes, I think it's fine. I think it's probably appropriate. I did not read anything in here yet that is inappropriate. So the main biblical character in this book is Deborah, and you see like this kind of war between the Hittites and the Hebrews, and that's really what this is all kind of focusing around. Like the plot line is a little bit similar, which is kind of interesting, but actually my son and I have liked this book better than Cat of Bubastes. This one has held my attention a little bit better. There's a lot more action in it, a lot more wars and battles and things like that. I don't see any like violence glorified, but it does talk about child sacrifice. So just know that going into that book. I would save this for older readers, high school. I feel like it's more appropriate for high school. I would not do middle school and down with this one. And if you haven't talked to your child about those more mature themes, then, you know, you probably need to do that before going into that book, because they're going to be like, what? Kind of going into that book. And just take my advice on that one. Okay. I'm going to show you real quick the 2 books that I got that I'm super excited about for Christmas. I have always wanted this book, and I feel like my little Anne collection is almost complete now. I got Christmas with Anne, and this is a used book. I could not find a new copy of it, but I loved this cover, and this is the one that I wanted. And it's got a dust jacket, which I was hoping it wasn't a dust jacket, but it is. But this is the actual book here. And it has a little girl's name written in it in old school cursive, which just made my heart super happy. Little Emily. So I have little Emily's book. So yeah, I'm super happy to have this book. I have always wanted this. This is a collection of short stories about Christmas time from the Anne of Green Gables series. So I'm going to have so much fun reading this year. The other book that I got, I have never had a real copy of this for myself, is a Charles Dickens Christmas Carol. And this is one of my very favorite Christmas books. I have always loved it. And it's really small, but it has the gold pages. I love when they do the pages. I don't know why I'm such a nerd about that, but I am. And it has all of the original drawings and they're in color. So I have never seen the real drawings that go with this story from the original illustrator, so I am going to really enjoy reading that. I read it every year, so I'm going to really enjoy reading it from this book this year. I have only done the listening, like the audio type of book with this, so I'm really happy to have my own like actual copy of it. So this, I got both of these on Amazon, and this one was like under $10 this week, so really happy to get that. So I have a couple of Christmas books. I have my Christmas tea. I feel like I'm ready. Like it's the first week in November. I am ready for this season. So I will let you know and update you on the books that I'm going to be reading for November and December, but I don't have like an actual like TBR list built yet for the Christmas season. So we'll see what books come out and what books come out on Kindle Unlimited too. So I don't know. I know I'm going to be reading these two, but that's it. That's all I know for the Christmas season. Be sure, as usual, to let me know what you're reading down in the comments. I would love your suggestions. If you know of a really great Christmas book, absolutely has to be clean. But if it's a clean book, put it down in the comments. I would love to get some suggestions because finding good books is hard. So especially clean books these days. My goodness, it is so hard finding clean books that have been written past 2000 anymore. So if you have some, put them down below so I can start building a TBR list. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a great rest of your day and happy homeschooling and happy reading.